So back then, they used to have Idumota. You know, there was Alaba and there's Asaba. So even though it was also very rough, it was rough, it was you know, it used to be a ghetto. Let me put it that way. It used to be ghetto. You know, the marketers were the ones making all of the money. You know, but there were filmmakers, producers still doing good stuff. And the fact that, you know, there's a system to sell the film and get money back was the reason why a lot of people were making those films. So that's where I was coming from. And then, you know, I had this conviction, and I had a drama team. I was coaching these young people. I'm a young person myself, so I was coaching other young people, and you know, we would go different places to do drama and all of that. People would ask me, I would say, no, we don't charge. You know, we're going to different churches to do drama. But when it was time to make film, we raised money. You know, a lot of money that should go into my own personal stuff, you know, I had to put into this. So it was time to sell. There was no platform to sell. There was only Redemption Camp. So I literally led my team to Redemption Camp to sell. And, you know, people were not buying. A lot of people were not buying because it's not the trusted names. So there are few trusted names. Every other person needs to, you know, hide under that, you know, umbrella if anything is going to happen. And then the few trusted names too, there are people you can't feature in your film. And I'm not saying this to, you know, disrespect or anything. But, you know, you just have a lot of things working against you from all angles. You know, you have elders you can't feature who actually have the faces. Yes. You have elders you can't feature. You know, you are limited to the people in your own team that you're going to put in your films, and there are few, and people don't trust them. Your name is not even trusted. And then I had people who were staying in different states, friends, family, who wanted to support me. Where do we buy your films? I was telling them to come to Redemption Camp, to be selling Redemption Camp. Come. You know, coming from era of video clubs, the films were everywhere. So distribution, I would want to, you know, talk about distribution. Let me talk about distribution so that people don't see it as, you know, this guy is the love of money. You know, there's a way Christians can demonize very good things. Yes. Distribution. So what's the essence of what you're trying to do with your work? You want to reach lots of people. So, but then if you want to preach to people, preaching does not come at a cost. If you evangelize the way Jesus evangelized, you would, you know, this building that we're in, I'm very sure there are over 10 people in this building. I can walk up to all 10 of them and preach the gospel of Jesus to them at no cost. It only cost me my mouth. I can walk the streets and preach the gospel of Jesus, and Jesus will be so pleased with me. So pleased, even much more than me making a film. So if you're making a film, you're already doing extra. You're already doing the extra that scriptures did not accommodate. The gadgets, paying professionals, putting a lot of money into equipment that are secular equipment. They are not spiritual equipment. This is not Bible. Even Bible, we buy Bible. Even Bible, we buy Bible. So you're putting money, and then you don't have a model that works, that is sustainable. I know people who used to argue against making films, making money from Christian films. So they want to make this time, they put money into it. By the time they are coming back, they reduce the, by the time, so it kept. A lot of people cannot conveniently go back and make their Christian stuff because they can't sell. And they can't come out and speak publicly about what they're going through because they will appear like sinners or not having enough faith. You know, we are running a system on the experiences of few men. Personal experiences should not be the norm. Reason is, you know, where you're coming from, where you're raised, your background, where you're coming from, your personality, a lot comes into your own. Okay, for instance, if you come from a family where there are a lot of people who can support you, if you are not a very truthful person, you'll be very biased with the conversation of if we are to make money from Christian films or not. You'll be very biased because maybe you're coming from a family where there's a religious structure and you have folks who are rich, and they are thanking God that you are not giving them problem. You are not on the streets smoking in their hand. You are saying you want to do something for the Lord, so they can support you. So if you are getting support from people like that who don't care if you are able to make that money back, you might not understand what it takes for me,
you will definitely
who is putting my house rent and putting all that I have on the line to make the stuff. And then you want to say faith again. I should have faith. What if I get it done? That a lot of us have actually done. We've done that. I make the film, and yet the money still did not come. Free will, supernatural giving is not the norm. Supernatural gifts, I mean receiving help from people because you have done something for the Lord. All the fantastic testimonies of Mount Zion since way back. Very good, very good, very, very good. Sometimes when we don't know how to, and that's really where supernatural comes in. When we don't know how to get things done naturally, we are confused about our journey naturally. That's where supernatural comes in. But when you realize that you don't experience supernatural in areas where your brain knows what to do, you're just not doing it. Let me cite an example. I know that I need to make breakfast, to eat breakfast. There's food in the house, but I'm just being lazy. And so God provide food. I might likely not see that miracle happen. So we are using templates of people who had no one ahead of them to mirror what they are doing. They were literally moving by faith. You had a man coming from a job, had conviction that, oh, this is what you should do now. He comes now, there's nobody to watch. Come on, he go get faith. He go need the fast and all of that. But that era is not now. His experience is not everybody's experience. Cannot be everybody's experience. So system are built on structures. You don't build system on miracles. People who experience miracles, they will go. But when you put structure in place, it will serve a lot of people. So you see, even in the ministry of Jesus, people ate bread on Beja. They came back another time for bread. Jesus said, no, sit down. You don't chop natural bread. Sit down, chop bread of life. No be to they feed you natural bread. Now why I come? So people have built, people have built their life on other people's experiences. And now it's not happening to a lot of, it can't happen to all of us. But there's something that can happen to all of us if we put structure in place. Structure that the person who can fast 21 days and the person who cannot fast 21 days, if they can do what is right, they will all get similar results. And like I said, what you are trying to do is not only peculiar to you. It's something that has existed before a lot of us even, were born. People have made films from way back. So film is not a Christian thing. It is Christians using film as a tool. If film is not Christian, film does not answer to Christianity, does not answer to Christian faith. Film is just film.
Like so you hone it.
Yeah. So you need to understand the structure in place. So, and that's where learning the business. I've had a lot of time people say, they don't want us there. Or, for some platforms, say they don't want Jesus on some platforms. It's a lie from the pit of hell. I don't know for other industries, but this industry, this Nollywood where I don't work, everybody think they are Christians. I want to believe you understand what I mean now.
Okay.
So there is nobody actively working against, consciously working against Christianity in Nollywood. No, Christian cannot come here. No, they cannot preach Jesus. There's a lot of things around there. One time DSTV were muting, we like all these things. So anything that to tackle persecution. Go and read the scripture and see what persecution is. That's not persecution. Persecution, you see the chop, you see the fat. Persecution, if you move, if you do anything. So nobody is in that system who is consciously working against you. It's a system that is sustained by business. People want to survive. People want to make money. And God is not against making money. God encourages us to work. Paul was speaking. Paul said that he who doesn't work should not eat. The same churches that Paul taught, Christian giving, how that believers should support other believers. So, enjoy grace, and fun. Everybody should learn to work. In fact, one of the reasons why Christians are admonished to work is so that we can have to give. Because at the end of the day, when you read, read Acts of Apostles. People who always like to sound religious, they are not even religious. They like to sound spiritual. They are not spiritual. Go and read your Bible very well. Even people who did spiritual businesses, they were structured. Christianity is here today because there was structure. It's called the Apostles' Doctrine. Acts of Apostles from chapter 1. Look at the instruction Jesus gave to them. See how they followed it to the letter. They were going to replace Judas. Very instructive, sir. I'm sorry for sounding so churchy now. Good. There was no, all the drama around how we do these things. People like mystery. And God is not mysterious. The essence of Jesus coming is to demystify all of that mystery about God. This is God. This is God in human flesh. How simple can God explain himself to you? Coming in human flesh. That's to let you know that it's not complicated. So you can learn God by simply just learning scriptures. In fact, people will still tag people who know Bible as head knowledge. Everybody like that have been fasting. God was just telling me that's where we hear errors from. So they were going to replace Judas. They already narrowed how to choose a replacement by saying somebody who walked in and out with us since the day the Lord called all of us. Because it were not just 12 people. Jesus did not have 12 disciples. There were other people but who were not part of the 12. So he says, so Peter said, we're going to choose one from those persons. That's structure. When it was time to meet the needs of people, they did not organize miracle service. They didn't say, oh, raise your hand, you're going to receive miraculous alert. The folks who had sold their things and they submitted everything at the apostles' feet and they distributed. You cannot be more spiritual than those guys. So if they were solving natural problems in a natural way with a spiritual mind, you can't solve natural problems with your religiosity. They solved food issue was a natural problem. Telling other folks to give their stuff so that we can distribute it so it will go around was a natural thing. But the mindset behind it is the spiritual mindset. Because it is spiritual to let go of your stuff because of others. So we like to make things look so mysterious. So anybody is talking about a structure that would enable a return in investment. Say, no, we are not making it for profit. But at the end of the day, you are expecting folks who are working in places where they are doing something for profit to put money into what you are doing. And you are saying you are not doing it for profit.
So, and now saying that they are supposed to do it for being a kingdom financier or whatever. Doing it for whatever you want.
The people that Jesus expect not to even do secular businesses with the church institutions, they are doing it. Look at churches, denominations, different denominations. They've created businesses around the facilities that they built schools, to sustain them.
To sustain, yes.
Now, the argument of if it is okay or not, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the people who God called, who should not even be delving into trying to make money, who should be focusing on spiritual things, they are delving into
all this.
You, that what you are doing is
that's it.
A to Z is so natural.
You don't have a problem with it.
You don't have a problem with putting structures in place. So at the end of the day, we put ourselves in a situation where we are all handicapped.
Who do you say that even has this mentality more? Is it the filmmakers or the people that are consuming it? Because we need to define that as well. I personally see it more from the people that are consuming it. They've been spoiled, so to speak. I hope nobody comes at me for this word, but they've been spoiled in the sense that a film comes out and you are asking, where can I watch it for free? Okay. Where can I watch it for free?
Okay. So the thing is, where we have lots of people, we can't take few people. There are people, if you have 10 persons and one person is saying something, that's an exception. So there are people who also wants to watch Nollywood films for free. For instance, as we speak, Funke Akindele's film is on Telegram. It's a very bad thing. A film that is in the cinema, people are already watching on Telegram. Wow. But then there's a structure that ensures that when these guys are, causing this havoc for this person that has, spent a lot of money, she also is smartly trying to get something back. So if someday government gets so responsible to a point where they can,
they can actually deal with
those. But in the meantime, the filmmaker is not working against himself by saying that, look here, guys, I'm making this stuff and it's for free. You would limit yourself. If you are not limiting yourself, you will limit the folks who are working with you.
Because if you don't have,
so you're going on a Christian film set. You can't tell if you'll be able to come back home to settle your child's school fees. Your child's school fee is defined. Your honorarium is not defined. Before I came in here, I already had a conversation with a client. I knew what you'll be paying. I don't even need to pray to God. That, oh Lord, let this person
just give me some.
No. I knew what you'll be paying with this cost. We would sign a contract. These are the folks you want to work against. They will continue to remain. An industry that fits. Do you know how many people that industry fits? On African Magic shows alone, African Magic original shows, Ajoche and the likes of them. Do you know how many people are on African Mnet's payroll? So I was at this friend's place and he was complaining about DSTV. And I actually don't have a problem with people who are complaining about the rate and all. So he now said, on my pack up. So I quickly prayed. I said, please, don't say that. So I had to enlighten him to, I gave him a figure of the numbers of persons who are eating from there, just from Nollywood alone. The commission shows that, people will be on set for 8 months. All those African Magic original shows you see, Ajoche, Enake, all of those original shows, people are on set for 8 months. These are productions that cost billions, lots of money, 500 million, 600 million. I mean, you have guys, you have filmmakers, film crew, going home every month with something some persons who work in bank would not take home. On average, you have guys going home with 400, 500K. They are able to feed their family. Such people would not be in a situation where they are fixed. So you can negotiate your fee. So you're going on a Christian film set and you can't tell where you're coming home with. I know that there's going to be a lot of religious response to this that I'm saying. That's why I needed to quote scripture. I didn't quote scriptures. I explained from scriptures. You cannot be more spiritual than those people. Natural problems should be solved with natural means, with a godly mind. So we can have a structure that ensures that we're paying people who come to work. So from experience, some years ago, I was to direct a Christian film, and I told them that I would need to get a DP that
you can work with.
I can work with. So through my own hands, they paid the DP well. I mean, they sent the DP's money to me. I was the one who paid the DP. And I had a major need around that time. So my wife, or my fiancée there, she would ask, what are they paying? You know, and she was not being ungodly. We needed money. You're going out to work.
Yes, that's
what's going to come out of it? I said, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. So you can imagine some years ago, I collected 100K on behalf of another person. And, you know, I was the one directing. And if you know how payment works, it's hierarchical. You don't, a DP will not earn more than the director.
No way.
So we got on set, and after we were done, they enveloped 5,000 naira.
Wow.
Now, they were not being wicked. There was no money. I saw it. There was no money. But we've already been indoctrinated into a system that encourages that kind of thing. Brethren. So we keep doing give and take with suffering. So I only need to look for money to rent equipment and maybe money to feed people. And so I don't need to worry what I'm going to pay this guy, what I'm going to pay these guys. So I received 5K. And I brought in somebody who's not even a church person, who's not even a Christian drama person. And he got 100K. So it was crazy. Then all I wanted to do was just Christian film. But if I turn here, ask questions, no answer. Turn here, ask questions, no answer. You know, we're not looking like unbeliever. So I was being pushed to a point where I needed to now say, okay, we'll be making Christian films, but we'll now have side hustle. That's also hypocrisy. That's also hypocrisy. Whatever is making this not sustainable needs to be checked. So the response is not, let's go and work other work so that we can keep making this one a religion. No. So, and then I told all the people who were advising me there, me, I don't know how to do anything. Film is what I know how to do. So I don't even know how to do all these things that people are saying that I should. Film is what I know how to do. So I would need to do it and ensure that it's sustainable. So and that's where, you know, I started taking my Nollywood jobs, you know, reach out some of my contacts. Bro, I'm you know, oh, guy, you're back. Oh, nice to have you back. All right. And then started taking jobs. And I'm in a better place today. And I'm so glad. I don't have everything in the world, but I know that I'm paying my school fee, my child's school fee. I'm not saying, oh God, send a helper, send it. No. Helper self will need work. So I can be somebody's helper too. So if I work within a system that guarantees return, I can be somebody's helper. I can help people too. I'm not the only one who should be receiving help. That's why I needed to quote what Paul said. That encourage people to work so they can earn. So now back to the distribution thing. If we fix the profitability of our films, welfare would be taken care of so easily. To God be the glory. I've worked on projects that are on Netflix. I've worked on projects that are on YouTube. So I understand the models too. Sometimes when I come in contact with people who want to make Yoruba films, instead of, because I'm a believer, I ensure they don't spend more than they would realize. I always tell them, if you go beyond this amount of money, you will not get the money back. You know, I could easily sweet talk you into putting a lot of money into it, and then eat, so I can eat my own part. So I always tell them, if you go beyond this amount, you will not get your money back. Why am I in a position to say that? Because there is a system. Though it's still, like I said, the film industry in Nigeria as a whole is far behind. So we now have a subgroup that is still far behind an industry that is far behind. So not like the structure is so solid there, but I'm saying that, you know, even if it's at the level of what's obtainable there that we have here, a lot of people can come into the space and serve, you know, and serve with, you know, without trouble. So I know that if I put in 2 million naira, from experience, we make so numbers of Christian films in a year. We have put so amount of money into making it. So on average, this is the return that people get when our films go out. So you can literally tell. In fact, you can tell what an investor should put in your film. If we're targeting this platform, we need to spend this amount. So Nollywood is in a place where 10 million naira is low budget now. And I'm not telling you things that I heard. I've worked on projects.
Sure.
10 million naira is low budget now.
Yeah, true.
So, and we keep bringing this conversation. You say, oh, this. No, you can. You're not more spiritual than the rest of us. You're not just saying what we are saying. There is a need for structure that is sustainable, that guarantees everybody, at least their welfare. People can be well taken care of. More people can bring their money into faith-based production, knowing fully well that it has a system. I was pitching to somebody, an investor, and that's what a lot of us would need to learn to do. A lot of young guys who wants to make Christian stuff, and you don't want to do it a certain way that, go and learn how to film business. Production is a job. Production is not the person that says, let us make a film. Producer. Producer is Entolomowa. No, producing is a job. Means that you can package this product and sell it. So who sells a film? It's a producer who does that. So it's a work, it's a skill. It's something we should learn. A producer will learn how to get investors to put money into a project. So these are, let me give a simple template so that some other young people, because we can't be talking about problems and not be saying how it should be done. There are people who wants to learn how it's done properly and who should, this is how it works. So I'm a filmmaker, I'm a film director. I have this crazy story that I want to work on, but I'm not a producer. Mind you, the system in Nigeria is still indie. So you can multitask. This is not about multitask. This is not against multitasking. But there is a need to understand job roles, that these are actual jobs of people. These are things they pay people for elsewhere. So it's not something that you get by anointing. It's not something you get by being a ministry head. So being a producer is actually a job. You know how to source for funds. You can raise funds for a film project, and you can guarantee return for whoever has invested in the project. So you must learn to pitch. So don't say they are not giving us opportunity. Nobody gives opportunity anywhere, not even in Nollywood. That's why you see people doing shout outs, because it's rare. So when people put you on or give you opportunity, you are thanking them because you are not entitled to it. So you cannot sit somewhere and be doing your own thing and be saying the space that you have not approached and be saying they are sidelining you or they don't want Jesus. No, you are the one not doing what should be done. There's a reason why some people are taking their films straight to streaming platforms and not cinema. You need to learn these things. It's a business. I know I'm digressing too much, but there's a lot to share. If you make a film, for instance, with 20 million naira, if you want your film if you want to take it to the cinema, you would need almost the same amount you spent in making the film for publicity. So it's a business decision that you will need to ask yourself, am I willing to take this? So let's say all the money you have is 20 and you've spent in making the film. You don't have the clout of Toyin, you don't have the clout of Funke. You can't do all of that Instagram video and be changing clothes because we're wired differently. There are guys who know, and there are guys who know how to make films, but they can't sell films the way these other folks sell their films shamelessly, which is also not a bad thing. So that's the reason why you need to understand the world of, the world where you operate. So 20 million is what we're putting into this thing. We don't even have extra 10 to do any publicity. So let's cut out cinema. Let's do streaming platform directly. That's some of, you'll be amazed to know that that's one of the reasons why some people have their films straight to cut down all of that stress.
Streaming platforms, yeah.
So even YouTube is also a platform. So we are not saying that folks should stop putting films on YouTube.
No.
We've seen Christian films do good numbers on YouTube.
Yes.
So, but we can't have everybody focused on that and then talk lightly or in a disdainful manner about other platforms like it is. And body language is very important. I've read from people that we should, people we all respect. I've read some things they wrote about cinema and all of that. And then it can derail a lot of people. It can derail a lot of people. If you've been to school, you learned how to do business, you are surviving. We have folks who are surviving in other businesses. Why is it that it is film that you people want to draw the line and say, no, they put money into it, they didn't see the money back? Yeah, it's part of business to take risk. It's part of business. So you're a producer, you must learn to pitch. So if I'm going to pitch a Christian film now to an investor, I know I want to win, so I'm not telling the investor that the goal of this film is to win so. Except that's the reason why he wants to put down his money.
Yes.
If that's the reason why he wants to put down his money. So every of my talk would be around that. So, but somebody who wants to make a film and I say, okay, I have this fantastic faith-based idea. It's purely business. And in business, everybody would mind their own interest. So this person is trying to safeguard his own interest. You equally should be trying to safeguard your interest. So what you should not do is to sit back at home and tag the space ungodly and say, they say we should use no. You're not being sincere, you're not being truthful. Cinema, for instance, is a game of numbers. It's a game of numbers. If a film has Papa My Bamiloye, has Mama Gloria My Bamiloye, and some other names, if Moses Babatope will not tell you to go and use Odun Adekola.
No way. No way. He won't do that.
He knows that this is a community with numbers. That's why the Yoruba folks are winning now. Not like they like them. Some people would consider them too rash to relate with. Some people are too tush to relate with these folks. But they are. I don't know what I'm being seen. How did they get there? Numbers. Game of numbers. Who are you? Tell me the star that Netflix has produced in the last 5 years that can match Odunade on the streets. We brought a star actor to UI here to film. You know, we put him in, in front of UI gates. So he was to, distribute and flyers to. We did not bother to pay extras. We just had our crane far from there, so people didn't know we were filming. And this guy stood in front of the gate of the school, and he was giving out these things. Nobody knew it. So, and cinema is in a bad shape now. Economy is affecting everything. So now they go extra mile to ensure that, are you sure? That's the reason for the ensemble of casts. Funny casting. Skit maker, Biba, Igbo, Biba. You see, I can give you the pattern. You see tribes, all tribes represented. It's not the tribe they are trying to represent. Watch the actors. Those actors are, those actors command authorities in their sub-industry. Yes, like they bring somebody who has held Asaba bound. They put him in the same project with a Funka Kindele or a Toya Emaku, who is the goddess of Southwest Yoruba movie industry. Why? They want, see, wherever the money is going to come from, let's just do everything it takes to get money. That's business. That's business. So it's a world where they just want to do business. So if you have a theory that works and you can prove it will work, they'll do business with you. What you should not do is to go religiously and somebody that wants to be sure that 20 million in law, lawful, it's because they don't want Jesus. No. You are not being truthful. It's not because they don't want Jesus. I just mentioned now. I don't know any star that Nollywood has produced though that has Baba My Bamiloye's number. He was on was it Daily Sunshine Show on Channels TV. Why do you think they open? These people will open doors. They don't care. They don't care about Muhammad. They don't care about Jesus. It's just number, impact, influence. So it can be a Bobrisky. It can be a Daddy Adeboye. As long as people follow you, you're worth something in the business space. As long as you command authority, you're worth something. And they are sleeping on that. And you see, go and see the Yoruba movie, whatever now. People who have achieved in the Yoruba movie industry, people who have achieved a level in the Yoruba movie industry, they are not wasting their energy on YouTube 1 million naira film again. They are sourcing for fund. If you are tired of seeing those Yoruba films crossing over, you will see more in the next 2-3 years. Wow. Because the guys who wants to make it, they are still looking for money. They are crazily looking for money. We know how these things work. When Femi Adebayo did his show, I told my friend, I said, this other guy will respond. That's how, and he did. When Orisha was doing well at the cinema, it was almost the same time, what's his name? Jagu was doing well on Netflix. See, and I'm saying this, I don't know if this should make, some of these films are not good. But these platforms, they are here for business. Okay, we're here for business. Who are the people we can do business with? Okay, they said this guy has 13 million fans. And I don't mean some Instagram followers that we bought. I mean, these guys have worked over the years. Like, okay, show Dami's numbers. Let's read that way. Show Dami's numbers. Dami has made films with 1 million view, 1 point something million view. Those things count. It means people who trust your brand. And then the question of will people pay? Who and who saw God's Calling? Who and who saw God's Calling? Who are the people who saw Breath of Life on Prime? They're Christians. The problem we always do is we only limit Christianity to our denomination. So the people who don't wear a ring are the Christians to us. So who are the people connecting with those films in those places? They are Christians. So a filmmaker cannot be unnecessarily, religiously biased. You want to capture a lot of audiences, you should open your mind. I'm not saying go and sing. Open your minds. The world is not your church. The world is not your denomination. The world is not your denomination. If you are waiting for a day where everybody will be wearing skirts, all ladies will be wearing skirts, that day will not come. So you better get into the ring and start working. So if you have a template that works, that guarantees returns, people will do business with you. And so that you know that we're not just making mouths, we're not just saying what we don't know of. You would see in the coming days. We have a faith-based script. I'm talking to an investor. I'm telling an investor, okay, it's a low budget film. We need 12-13 million naira to make this film. It's a low budget. These are the things we're going to do. These are the things we're going to do. These are the things we're going to do. And I'm telling this is how to get the money back. Once he's satisfied, we do business. Then I now put things in place, know that okay, these are the things that I need to do. That's one of the reasons why we also need to network. You can't demonize people you still want to do something, you still want to do something with maybe tomorrow. You also need to network. Sometimes I see folks looking at some films, seeing some films on Netflix, thinking it is because of how good those films are, that's why they're there. Sometimes it's relationship.
Yes, I agree.
I know indie filmmakers with films with shaky audios and all of that. And they have their films there. Yeah. They have their films there. So some of the criteria that you have in your head, it's not even, these guys are doing business. So sometimes if you make a film with a little amount of money and it's good, and you have a niche audience, and they see that you're a young guy, they know that to give you a few millions, it's not going to affect our business. And your film can be here for 1 year or 2 years. It will just be part of the catalog, something, plenty films that we have. It's not doing any harm. Within 1 or 2 years, we put it there. And then there is the other one too, that is 1 billion, 500 million naira, that they themselves need to, come in as a collaborator. Now they are paying some of our producers, they're paying some of our producers to make original films for them. Kunia Folayan was on a 3 slate of films. Prime did same with what's her name, Jade. They're not doing it because we are promoting devil. No, people are doing business, and they're doing business with people they can trust. There's a reason why if anything comes from anywhere into the space, it is those who have been well fed that are usually the first beneficiary. There's a reason for it. Why? Because anybody who wants to put money into something, the first thing they're looking out for is, that guarantee that I can get it back. And somebody who has done something consistently doesn't have much to prove. Check the records. They're there. So to the faith-based community, the few people who have attained certain levels, if they want it, the door is wide open. The younger ones who are still coming, the door is not closed equally. You only need to work extra. Like some of us and some of my friends we were doing in Hollywood. We don't have all the budget to match what the big guys are making. But you have to be good. You have to be good. That if by chance your small work gets there. Okay, some guys made what's his film? It's on Netflix. The Griots.
The Griots, okay.
Most of them are UI folks. Not that they are still in school. They graduated from UI. I am in a film community where I have people. I have people who, like the writer, we're in the same film community. So these are young people that like 5-6 years ago, they can't really tell you, at this point in our career, we'll be here. But you see people learning, you see people striving, they're not settling for mediocre stuff. They're not settling for mediocrity. So they got on Netflix and did well. It was on the top 10 thing that we like to talk about. It was on it for a long while. The makers of The Griots, they are back making other films.
Wow.
There's another film, Yahoo Plus, made by a young guy too. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not an insider. I'm not sure they made that film with up to 7 million naira.
I saw the film and I'm like, what is this?
I'm not sure they made that film with up to 7 million naira. But it was made by hungry boys. The film has its audience. I liked it. That's why I said there are young people who are, who are making some kind of films. They have their audience. And these platforms know. Yeah. For such films, they are not expecting huge numbers. But the money you put into it is not so a big risk to take. So they can still pay you for that. The film, he has gone back to make another one.
Wow.
There's Taiwo Egunjobi, who is from Ibadan here. A very good guy. He made in Ibadan his first feature film. It was Rupa, but you would see potential in that film. And went back, made other things. He has all the vibes on Netflix. Yeah. He has gone ahead to make another one, Green Fever. It was at Afrif. Yeah. It's coming on Prime, I believe.
I heard he had a lot of accolades.
Yeah, it's coming on Prime. These are people who don't have connections, who don't know any cabal. So it means that we can have young people from the church who wants to make faith-based content or faith-based films. Have this same kind of drive and ambition. Understand that nothing will be handed over to you. You have to work for everything. You are not entitled to be helped. You see this help beggarly mentality. It's not going to take us anywhere. When you know it's real struggle there and you're ready to get into the ring to do all it takes, you don't want to. So if you're saying your film is not for sale, I'm not sure I can give you money. And I'm not sure you will even come back to make more films. Maybe at the level that you're making, the ones that doesn't come with risk. Let me go and buy 60D and make something and put it on our YouTube. And 15 people in our church sees it and they say it's good. I remember when I made my first film, I was crying. My mom said it was good. No, it's not good. Don't patronize me. I know where I'm going. Don't patronize me. This is not good. So it's the business is open. The business is open. Whatever is obtainable in the business world, there's fraudulent activities. There are people who want to take advantage of you. There are people who want to do business genuinely. There are people who want to sell nudity. They want to use it to make money. So you just set your own values and try and find your way. There's always a way. There's a way Kendrick brothers are doing their businesses in the US. If you think it's just God bless you, no. Go and see what their films, what they're making from their films. There is something that is sustainable that all of us can benefit from. And that's teach everybody, let everybody be free. Don't let people be having questions secretly that they can't ask openly. Because when they ask openly, they are sounding like unbelievers, like we are already sounding now.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
They're sounding like unbelievers. So let free people, let people be free. This thing is not denomination. Yeah. It's not denomination. Why should an adult be worried about how another adult who is making film would take, the fact that he puts certain actors in his film? You are in some deep mess. An adult. One of the things that come with adulthood is liberty to take responsibility. Take responsibility. I've made this decision. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. So it shouldn't be because Awade, you are in a community where you don't even have your own voice. And then when something happens in the secular world, you say, I watched the film, you enjoyed it. Why are you not making it? Why are you not making it? The fact that you enjoyed it means that it's something you don't have issues watching. If you don't have issues watching, why are you having issues making it? And lastly, this is not to say everybody should be doing it that way. I'll go back to the first 2 points that I made. So what is global? Don't turn it to our own agbole thing. And then 2, don't make people lose their individuality. It's very important. That's why there are a variety of films in the world. Somebody will learn from Scorsese and then go ahead to say, oh, I find Scorsese's style boring, and then go ahead to do his own. But you see that there are the general things. There's the general thing that everybody needs to know, that we know. Yeah. So you can't get that if you demonize the system where you're to learn that. And our people are very hypocritical. There was a time that the teaching was flying around. You know, I don't know one scenario in the Old Testament where was it David? They needed to go work on their war gadgets and equipment in the land of the Philistines. So our guys would demonize Nollywood, and then somehow, some of the things that we are doing, we learned from there. Let's even just break everything.
Oh wow.